Welcome back, my dear students. Today we will discuss the fascinating world of hormonal regulation of gametogenesis, the precise orchestrations that ensures the creation of sperms and eggs. Using trusted textbook and research, we will explore how the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis acts as the conductor linking the brain and gonads to control reproduction. We will see how hormones like GnRH, FSH, LH, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone and inhibin work together to guide spermatogenesis in males and oogenesis in females. By the end, you will understand how this hormonal symphony guarantee fertility, ensures cyclical ovulation in females, and maintains lifelong sperm production in males, showing why precise hormonal control is essential for the continuity of life. Introduction. Gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is basically the process of forming gametes or sex cells in both males and females. Relation to meiosis, it occurs through meiosis, hence meiosis is often described as gametogenesis, meaning creation of gametes. In male, spermatogenesis, it begins with spermatogonium, it develops into primary spermatocyte to form secondary spermatocyte, then it will form spermatid and then mature spermatozoon or sperm cell. But in case of females, we have already discussed in previous classes the basic process of oogenesis with another classes of spermatogenesis. The oogenesis process begins with oogonium, we know, and it develops into primary oocyte, secondary oocyte, and then mature ovum or egg cell. Origin of germ cells. Both the processes of spermatogenesis and oogenesis begin with primordial germ cells that settle in the gonads. In testes, it will develop into sperm, and in ovary, it will develop into ova. Determinants. Development into spermatocytes or oocytes depends mainly on the genotype of the embryo. In rare cases, the hormonal environment of the embryo can influence development, leading to a sexual phenotype or physical sex different from the genotype. Hormonal regulation of gametogenesis. Gametogenesis, we know, it is required. It needs not only the genetic and cellular events or meiosis, but it also precise hormonal regulation. Sources. What are the sources of hormones? Hormones basically involved, they are secreted by the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, which are located in the brain, and the third one is the gonads, that is either testis or ovary. Functions of the hormones. These hormones act together to ensure proper production of gametes and maturation of gametes, and the third one is the release of gametes. This is the oogenesis and the process of spermatogenesis. Hormonal regulation of spermatogenesis, which occurs in the seminiferous tubules of the testes, and it is controlled by the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis or HPG axis, hypothalamo-pituitary gonadal axis. This is the hypothalamus and this is pituitary, and this is the gonad, either testis or ovary. So the image showing the hypothalamo-pituitary gonadal axis of regulation for the gametogenesis. Hypothalamus, it secretes, we know, gonadotropin releasing hormone or the releasing group of hormone GnRH in a pulsatile manner. Then the GnRH stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release gonadotropin hormones. Anterior pituitary release follicle stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone or LH. What is the role of FSH? It acts on Sertoli cells in the seminiferous tubules. It stimulates production of androgen binding protein or ABP, which concentrates testosterone around developing sperm cells. It provides nourishment and support to spermatogenic cells. This FSH stimulates the secretion of inhibin, which gives negative feedback to regulate FSH levels. Role of LH, it acts on Leydig cells, it stimulates production of the hormone testosterone, and then testosterone from the Leydig cell, it diffuses into the seminiferous tubules, and which is essential for spermatogenesis. Now testosterone, it is the principal androgen regulating spermatogenesis. It promotes maturation of spermatogonia, then it will promote spermatocytes to convert into spermatozoa. It provides negative feedback to hypothalamus and pituitary to control GnRH and LH secretion. Other hormonal factors. Inhibin from Sertoli cells, they specifically inhibit follicle stimulating hormone secretion. Estrogen, small amounts formed by aromatization of testosterone in Sertoli cells. It helps in fluid resorption and sperm maturation within the epididymis. The third one is the growth hormone and fourth one is the thyroid hormones. They indirectly support testicular function by maintaining metabolism and Sertoli cell activity. So what is the summary for the control of spermatogenesis? We know GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus, promote the secretion of FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and LH, luteinizing hormone, from the anterior pituitary gland, and then they stimulate Sertoli cells to release ABP, androgen binding protein, and inhibin for their support, and they promote Leydig cells to secrete testosterone, and this secretion is needed for proper spermatogenesis. So what is the process of, what is the hormonal regulation of oogenesis? Oogenesis and the ovarian cycle are regulated by interactions among hypothalamic, pituitary and ovarian hormones. Hypothalamus, it secretes GnRH in pulses. It controls the release of pituitary gonadotropins, that is either FSH or LH. Anterior pituitary, it releases follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone in a cyclical manner. This is the image showing the hypothalamo-pituitary gonadal axis. It will promote the uterus and the ovary in case of the process of oogenesis. What is the function of FSH in oogenesis? It stimulates growth and development of ovarian follicles. It promotes granulosa cell proliferation and secretion of estrogen from the ovary. It helps oocytes move from the arrested state towards the maturation. Role of luteinizing hormone, it acts on thicker cells of ovary to produce androgen, which can convert the estrogens into in granulosa cells. Then a mid-cycle LH surge that occurs on the 14th day of the reproductive cycle or menstrual cycle, completion of meiosis 1 in the primary oocyte, then it will forms the secondary oocyte, and ovulation, that is the release of secondary oocyte, and formation of corpus luteum from the ruptured follicle. Ovarian hormones, estrogen from the granulosa cells, it stimulates endometrial growth during the follicular phase, and it provides negative feedback on FSH or LH at low moderate levels. It provides positive feedback just before ovulation. It leads to LH surge. Progesterone from corpus luteum, it maintains and prepares the endometrium for implantation. It provides negative feedback on GnRH or gonadotropin releasing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, and LH or luteinizing hormone. It prevents multiple ovulations in the same cycle. Inhibin or formation of granulosa and luteal cells, they specifically inhibits FSH secretion. Other hormones such as HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, they secreted by embryo after implantation and maintains the corpus luteum in early pregnancy. Prolactin and oxytocin indirectly influence reproduction by supporting lactation and maternal adaptations. So what is the summary or control of oogenesis? GnRH or gonadotropin releasing hormone acts on follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, which are secreted from the anterior pituitary gland. Then it will responsible for the follicular growth of the ovary and secretion of the estrogen hormone, which causes the LH surge, luteinizing hormone surge within the reproductive cycle and causes ovulation, that is the release of secondary oocyte from the ovary. Then the Graafian follicle will be converted into corpus luteum and it will release progesterone, estrogen, inhibin hormone, and then which is responsible for endometrial preparation or negative feedback. These are the key differences in hormonal regulation, the process of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So my dear students, today we explored how the hormones act as the master conductors of the gametogenesis process. Both in males and females, the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis or HPG axis plays the central role. In males, this system ensures a steady lifelong supply of sperm, but in females it follows a rhythmic cycle, guiding ovulation and preparing the body for a possible pregnancy. But remember, this harmony depends on perfect hormonal balance. Even a small disturbance in GnRH, FSH, LH or sex steroids can disrupt fertility and cause reproductive problems. Truly, hormonal regulation is the key to the continuity of life itself. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, stay curious, and I will see you in the next class. Bye. Thank you.